Google Whisk is the best way to use Nano Banana. In this video, we'll be seeing first of all what exactly is Google Whisk, how can you access it completely for free, and then we'll be looking at 10 different reasons why you should be using this platform to use Nano Banana to edit your images rather than anything else out there. And we'll be seeing this with the help of different examples. So let's get started. So first of all, let's see how to access Google Whisk because it's completely free. All you need is a Gmail account. You can go over to Google, type in Google Whisk, and you'll get this link by Google Labs. I'll also leave this link in the description of the video. Now, one very important thing, currently, as of September 2025, this is available in 140 plus countries. Now, that's a lot of countries, but it's not all the countries. So in case you don't find this link to be working wherever you are living, don't worry too much about it because Google has been rolling this out very aggressively since August 2025. So there's a good chance that pretty soon you will also get your hands on it. So do watch this video. Now, let's try to understand what exactly is Google Whisk. So once I click on Enter Tool here, I'm already signed into my Gmail account. You can see we get a nice looking interface where you can add some images, start writing prompts, and this pretty much looks like any standard AI image generation tool out there. But where it differs is that Google doesn't really want you to write lengthy text-based prompts. Instead, this tool has been developed more like an image-to-image model where your output depends upon the images that you upload and get inspired by so that you can derive something similar. You'll understand that when we start to see some examples. But if you think of the image-to-image model, that's where Nano Banana comes in, because Nano Banana also is not really an image generation tool. It's more like an image editing tool where also everything depends when you upload an image. And therefore, if I just click this little button here, you can see that they have incorporated Nano Banana right inside this tool when it comes to editing your images. Now, let's see the 10 different reasons why you should be using this via some different examples. So let's start. So the first 3 reasons why this is an amazing tool is because it has a great UI. As you're going to see, it's not only easy on the eyes, it's also easy on the mind because it just facilitates a very smooth workflow as you're about to see in this first example. And you can also, for the first time now, choose the aspect ratio, which is something you could not do in other platforms, let's say like LM Arena or Google's own platforms like AI Studio or Google Gemini. You can also generate multiple images together, which is also something we weren't able to do up till now with Nano Banana. So let's take an example which demonstrates all these 3 points. Before we start, I should point out the link to download the images is also in the description so you can work along with me. For this first example, let's keep things very simple so that you get used to this interface. We have the image of this necklace. Let's try to create something professional for this where let's say a woman or a female model is wearing this necklace. So then it's very easy. All you do is just hit this add images icon here. And this is where on the left you can start to add those context images just like you do it with the other platforms also. So here under the subject, you can see these context images are categorized into different themes here. So we'll also be seeing later on what this exactly does. But right now we're going to be using the subject category here. So let's upload the image of this necklace right here. And the moment you upload an image here, first of all, it analyzes the image. So always wait for this analysis to get over. It just takes a few seconds because if you start editing it before that, then sometimes it doesn't take into account whatever you've uploaded here when it comes to the output. So now you can see it is definitely there. And let's just type in a simple prompt here. Professional shot of a female model wearing a necklace. So first of all, you can straight away see the first reason that we discussed, that everything just looks good on the eyes also. And like I said, it will be great for the workflow also. The second point was that you can choose the aspect ratio. So if you just hit this option here, now with using Nano Banana, we can also make sure it's landscape or portrait or square. So this time, let's go for the square aspect ratio. And the moment I hit this generate button, you're going to see we also get multiple images. Now we do get 2. That's all right. But I can, while they're cooking, keep doing this. And the generations, you can see now it stops me after 3 sets of generations, but 6 images in one go is also not bad at all. We've just not seen that with Nano Banana before. And you can see the generations are pretty fast and consistent. So you can clearly see it's the same necklace that we uploaded here in these images. And you can see that this just looks and feels very, very easy. Now let's make it slightly challenging. So we don't just want a random image here of any woman. We want this woman to be our model. Well, then again, in the subject category, we can upload one more image. So don't add this second image in scene or style. We'll be seeing that later on. this can be a bit confusing. You have to hit this plus icon here so that we get one more slot here inside the subject category. And now we can upload the new model's face here. Again, it's going to analyze that image, but just see how easy this feels again, because if you were doing this on any other platform, you would have had to write this prompt again, upload the images again. But here, we don't even have to change the prompt now. Everything is as it is. All we've done here is just added this image, and we can just again hit generate. And with that same prompt, it's just going to incorporate her also in the result. So let's just wait for this. And you can see that we've got these fantastic looking results. And again, the consistency this time with the face also is amazing. And we already know that because that is Nano Banana. So all the three reasons that you saw in that slide, you could see that materialize in this example. But let's not stop here, because let's look at reason number 4. So the next great thing about Whisk is that you can seamlessly edit the results that you get. So let's go back to the example and let's edit one of the results that we've got there. So let's take an example of, let's say, this second image that we've got here. Now, let's say I want to change her dress over to something that is yellow in color. Now, imagine doing this in something like LM Arena or Google Gemini. It's not going to facilitate editing within the same windows. We've often seen this is the problem with Nano Banana, where you'll have to download the image, upload it again, and then write in a different prompt which says that, yeah, change her dress to yellow. But here inside Whisk, all I need to do is just click on this image, and right here itself, I can just type in, she's wearing a yellow dress, and I can just hit generate, and let's wait for the results. All right, and you can see, first of all, the results are so quick. And secondly, you can see that straight away we've got everything done perfectly. It didn't even change anything else, keeps everything consistent, just did what we asked it to do, and that's fantastic. Let's look at the next factor. So like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, Google Whisk doesn't really want you to write long prompts, and that's where categorized context images come into play, like the style, scene, and the subject categories that you just saw, because this means that we really don't have to describe too much when it comes to the prompt. So again, let's go back to the same example that we were seeing. So remember, these were the first two results that we got, but let's say right now it has a studio-like look. But what if we wanted a different kind of look, maybe something like this? Then what we can do here is, instead of having to describe this in the prompt, because that will take too much of thinking and too much of effort, all we need to do is just go over to the style category in the context images and just upload this particular image right here. All right, so our image is ready here. Now, one very important thing, whenever you upload these context images, always make sure this yellow check mark that you see is enabled, because sometimes by mistake, you can just click on it and it's not enabled, then it doesn't really take into account. So just make sure that this is always checked. Now, this is the best part, right? This is under style. I've not yet changed the prompt. This is exactly the same thing that I wrote right in the first go. And all I need to again do is just hit generate. And now we're going to get everything similar. It's just that it's going to put this style also right here. And you can see that that is absolutely fantastic. Just imagine doing something like this in Google Gemini, AI Studio, or LM Arena. You would have had to, first of all, generate your original image, then also upload it along with the style image, and then type in something like, oh, according to the style of the second image, change the first image and all that. No, nothing is required now. You can just do this very, very seamlessly. Let's look at the next factor. Now, actually, before I go there, there's one important thing that you have to know about context images here. You can only, at one point of time, upload a maximum of 3 context images. For example, here, it's 1, 2, and 3. What if we also want to add this particular earring in one of the shots here? Then the only choice will be to sacrifice something out of these 3. Otherwise, you'll just have to download one of these images. So let's say, for example, maybe I can just take this in, and then repeat the same process. So I'm going to upload the downloaded image and the photograph of the earring here. So both the images are again in the subject category here. And this time I do have to change the prompt a bit, because I do have to mention this. So I've just added, yes, wearing a necklace and an earring. And now if we run this, again, yes, it would be great if they allow for more context images. But again, this is pretty effortless. And you're going to see that even for something so intricate like this earring, even when it comes to consistency, it's just amazing. So you can see that this looks really, really nice. Now let's see the next factor. So another great benefit of using Whisk is that you can actually edit the context image itself right where you upload it. And that can be very helpful in certain scenarios. So this time, let's look at an example of a food shot. So let's say we've got a very ordinary looking shot of a pizza. Maybe we were just having this and we just take out our cell phone and click shots like this. But we want to turn it into something much more professional like this particular shot. So first of all, in the subject category, let's add the casual shot. And now a bit of a quiz for you. Where do you think we should be adding the professional looking shot? Which category should it go into? So since we want the colors and the styling of it, that will go in the style category. So let's add it here. And I can type in a very simple prompt which says professional shot of a pizza. And this time, let's change the aspect ratio. Let's go in for something taller, 9:16, and let's run this. So we are going to get a result where we have these toppings from this pizza, but we're going to get this particular look. So let's just wait for this. And you can see if I just open this up, so easily we've been able to get our original pizza in the same look. But what if I do not like this blue color here? Because it seems more like this would be great for a watch or some other sophisticated product like this, but not for food photography. Instead, I wanted something much more like wooden or rusty and much more cinematic. Then what I can do here is I don't really need to search for any other image because I like the other elements here. I like the steam and the look of this slice. So I can just right within the context image, hit this edit icon here, and I can actually edit this image also. So we can just get rid of this description of the image that it has here by default. And I can type in something like, change the blue colors to black and replace the surface with a rusty wooden texture. And let's just run this. And right here, we'll be able to get two results. And you can see that this is exactly what I had hoped for. So this is the first result. And this is the second result. So I think I like this because I didn't want this circular thing here. This looks like one of those surfaces that you have for the pizza shots here. So then just make sure you've highlighted this or clicked on this, and then I can close this. Now this becomes my context image. So again, it's so seamless. Again, I don't need to change any of this. Maybe this time, I think probably we'll stick to the square aspect ratio, and let's just run this. All right, and we've got this fantastic looking result. Didn't even have to change the prompt, just had to edit the context image, and suddenly we've got a result like this. Let's look at one more example like this. Now, it's always not so straightforward. So I want to show you some results where things did not go as planned. So this time I've kept everything the same as the last example. It's just that under style, I've just changed it to this particular image. And you can see I can use the same prompt again. But this time, whenever I was trying this, for some reason, it just wasn't taking this style into account. And if that is the case, we're again going to see just the original pizza being reflected back here again. And in case that happens, I just want to show you how you can overcome that. So this is what I'm talking about. You can see in this particular case, it just wasn't able to give that cinematic look, right? So what I did here was that after a lot of trial and error, one of the things you can do here is if you, under the style image, if you just again hit that edit button. Remember we saw this thing which we got rid of before? This is basically a description of this entire style in words. So if I just select it and copy this, close this time we're not editing the image, but if I just paste this right here inside the prompt. Now we're kind of going against what Google Whisk stands for because it doesn't want us to write things here, but if it's effortless, then we don't really care. And when I did this, I at least started to get better looking results with that cinematic look, if not exactly the same as this. So let's just see this. So you can see, right? Now this gets really, really close to that dark and moody look that we have here. So this is one of the ways by which you can just overcome in case you're facing this particular issue. And then if it's not exactly the same as this, for example, one of the slices here is a bit out, do know that, remember, we've seen this reason, you can seamlessly edit it right from here. For example, let's say I can take this image and I can get rid of everything here and I can just type in one of the slices is slightly out. And let's just see if it's able to get that. And we get something like this. Yes, it's slightly lifted, so it feels like someone is lifting the pizza. It's not bad at all. Just to make it more dramatic, we can say steamy pizza. So you can just keep on editing this till you get the final output. And this is very convenient rather, again, to upload the images again and again and then having to write those prompts, because oftentimes it's just going to happen that you're not going to have the final output in your mind already. Because if that was the case, of course, you can argue that, Kush, I can just write in the final prompt, write in the first go. But that usually doesn't happen. You're always building things according to the results that you're getting. And then your final output is a result of you getting inspired by the other outputs that you get. So it's not like you always have the end result in mind. And that's where this seamless editing workflow really, really helps. And now we come to the next reason also, which is absolutely amazing, which is that using Whisk, you can also turn these into a video. And that is because Google VO3 is also built inside this platform. You can see this little video icon. And how it works is if I just hover over my account here, you will be able to see that I do get to start off with 100 AI credits. And using the VO3 fast quality or the model, each video will cost you 20 credits. So that's basically 5 free VO3 videos per month. Now that's not a lot, but that's still better than 0 free videos a month. And in case you want more, then you can just hit this upgrade icon and you'll be, of course, taken to Google AI Pro, where you can sign up for the $20 per month plan. In that case, you're going to get way more credits. So this also is in sync with the Google AI Pro and the Ultra plans which Google has. But right now, 5 videos is all I have. I'm actually down to 4. And there's one more requirement in case you want to turn something into a video. First of all, how you do that is you, again, open this up. You don't even have to open this up, actually. Just hit this animate button here. And you can see that it says that I need to, first of all, change it to a landscape aspect ratio. So that is 16:9. So what we can do here is, just in our original generation, just as an example, we'll stick to 16:9. Let's just add the steam again before we animate this. So steamy pizza. And now we can take one of these, let's say like this. We can just hit animate. And let's just type in a simple prompt for VO3. So nothing fancy right now. This is just a demo. So a cinematic shot of a steamy hot pizza. And let's just wait for this video to get completed. And you can see that just within a few seconds, even our video is all ready. I mean, how easy was that? Let's look at the next factor. So one of the factors that we saw before was that you can edit the context image pretty seamlessly, but you can also generate one in case you don't have a context image to start off with. So in order to see this example, we have in the subject category 2 headshots, one of this man, one of this woman. And I've just written here, wide angle shot of 2 friends sitting in a cafe. They're looking at the camera and smiling. And you can see Nano Banana does a fantastic job when it comes to consistency. But what if we don't want them sitting in just any cafe? There's a specific cafe that we have in mind, maybe an outdoor cafe. So either we've got the image for that, or we can generate it completely from scratch. And as a bonus, we'll also see one of the categories which we have not seen before. So we're going to upload the image here, or we can directly generate it also. So if I just hit this button, I can say outdoor cafe. So this is if, let's say, I just want it to be any outdoor cafe that AI gives me. And if I like that, I can definitely use it to place them right there. So let's see what Whisk gives out here. And you can see that it has generated this particular image. For some reason today, it has actually been generating these images with this animated look. So I just generated the image again, and the prompt that worked this time was, if I just open this up, a photorealistic image of an outdoor cafe in Italy. And yeah, this gave me a good result. So now we can use this. Again, we don't have to change anything else. Let's just generate this again, and hopefully this time both of them will be sitting right here. And you can see just like that, we've got a fantastic image, which now takes into account the scene also. Reason number 9 is that the quality is pretty good, even though the resolution is not so great. So you are kind of capped at 1 megapixel, but when it comes to the quality itself, these images look pretty good. For example, remember this was one of the images that we had generated before. If I just go here and hit download, you're going to see that it's not pixelated and everything just looks sharp. And to increase the resolution, of course, you can use any AI upscaler out there, even a free one, because the main thing here is the texture, the quality, everything looks very, very sharp. And finally, reason number 10 is that it's not like once you generate something, it just disappears if you were to log in again, which happens in most of the other platforms where you can use Nano Banana. Here you can anytime go to the My Library tab here. And if I just open this up, it's going to show you all the past images that you have made inside Whisk. You can see this is absolutely amazing. So you can see Whisk just makes using Nano Banana really, really convenient, and at the same time, it produces a great looking output. There are some other third-party AI tools out there, specifically some all-in-one AI apps which do the same thing via the API. But the main difference between them and Google Whisk is where reason number 11 comes in, which is Google Whisk is completely free. So in case this video helped you out, do give it a like. And for more AI tutorials like this one, make sure you subscribe, and I will see you next time.